So it's been a while, been 5 days. So this is day 12 of growing a $200 account to $1,000. So last thing I showed you guys was my terminal of open trades. So here's where it was at. So you can see our account was at $311 with an open profit of like $93.67. So here's where the account currently sits, looking at the history of the account. So here's the balance and the profit. So as you can see, a lot has changed in only the 5 days. So I'm gonna show you 2 screenshots of the history. I'm gonna explain the history so it's a little bit quicker than showing every little detail. So lastly, I told you guys about GBP USD. I showed you that trade, it ended up going in profit. It was a nice trade. So here's the history after GBP USD ended up closing. Right, so you can see USD CHF, that ended up not working out. There was many trades that I was in. I entered, it went into profit, I added into profit, it went into more profit, I added even more, it went into more profit, so I kept adding, right? I had like 5 open positions, as you can see in the past screenshot of the history. Here's a screenshot of what happened with USD CHF. So as you can see on the 1 hour, this is where I was placing the trades off of. On the 1 hour, I thought this was a really good support zone. So I bought, it went into profit. I ended up buying again, it went into profit even more. I ended up buying again. You can see the loss on USD CHF. Those trades were at a loss of like $20, $29. Y'all know I risk 10% of the account. So every trade I take, it's risking 10%. So my account, when I left you guys, was on $300. So each trade, my stop loss is $30. And every time I add into it, it's also gonna be risking $30. I move the stop losses to break even every time I add into a trade. So I'm really still only risking 10% of the account. And then you can see at the very top, I'll pause it here. In that top gray zone, you could see that I added another buy position. And so the thing that sucks about trading's great, but the thing that sucks is when you're asleep, you can't really manage trades. So while I was asleep overnight, this happened. It ended up hitting like all the stop losses, all the break-even positions. So that's why it was like $29, $20 loss. And I just took a bunch of losses overnight. It's okay. It's what we have stop losses for. Shortly after, all the USD CHF positions ended up playing out and they ended up in a loss. But it looks crazy, but actually risk was managed very well during that period, because I could have lost like over $100, which was at the time like 50% of the account, which this challenge wouldn't have lasted very long. So shortly after, Euro JPY ended up not playing out. I closed that one early, but then USD CAD comes along, and I'll show you what that looks like. And this is what USD CAD was looking like in open profit. USD CAD was working out really well, so I just kept adding into it, hoping it would continue to go into profit, which it did, and as you can see, I had a winner from it. And then this is going to be very key in the rest of this video. You know, I was looking through all the pairs, trades that I wanted to look to take, and I locked eyes with my old friend. We ended up shaking hands and coming to an agreement. My friend, the US 30 or the Dow Jones. So right here, I'm gonna put a screenshot of what it looked like when I entered this trade. So to me, right where the buy position is at, that looked like a very good support zone. So I ended up buying. Things kept playing along, trades kept going, I let them run. This is what it looked like in the middle of that day. And this is what USD CAD was looking like. So here's a big lesson that I have learned. Again, I'm not a guru, I'm not telling people how to trade or what to do, but for me, what I have learned, and I'm sharing this so maybe somebody else could possibly learn from it. When a trade is going into profit, especially if you have a small amount of capital like I do, when a trade is going into profit and it's really close to the take profit, one lesson, let it hit the target profit. Do not touch it. So you can see USD CAD was really close. It was kissing that target profit. And later that day, US 30 or the Dow Jones, it was basically shaking hands with the target profit, you can see. So what I was aiming for on USD CAD, you can see right here. There's all my positions that were at the top. The target profit was right there at the next daily zone where I thought price would bounce. So in my head, I'm thinking I'll aim for that target profit, but if it bounces there, I'm going to close it. But I should have just let it run. I should have just let it stay open, because I ended up closing USD CAD there, which was still a good profit. But had I just let it run, I probably would have made like close to $300 on just USD CAD from adding in the positions. I ended up only making maybe a little over $200, which I'm not complaining. It's still a good profit, especially on a $200 account, but it could have been more. And it's not really about the money, but it's about the aspect that I should have just let my winners run. So after I closed USD CAD, this is what the account was looking like. So you can see we're up about $222, which is really good because we started with $195. So at this point, we have doubled the account. We're at like 430 bucks, which is great. So this next picture is gonna look crazy. I started placing trades on GBP USD, which looked really good. Started placing trades on I started placing trades on CHF JPY, AUD USD. So as you can see in the history, there's a lot of different trades, a lot of things that updated. Really, none of it really mattered because a lot of them were just break-even stop outs. A lot of them went into profit. I kept adding to them. They'd come back, hit the break-even, and then they'd continue into profit. So I'd add again, and then they would go down, and I'd add again, and then move stops to break-even, and then it'd go back up and stop out those positions, right? So as you can see from the history, a lot of those trades weren't really working out. I would add into profit and get stopped out at break-even. Some I'd take a loss because it's overnight. But the one that was still doing good was the Dow, the US 30. So it ended up hitting the target profit, and this is what it looked like. So as you can see, we made like $400 on the Dow alone. That's the pair that I really like trading. You can catch a good move and it bounces clearly on support and resistance. It's a great pair to trade. So you can see the deposit was $195, and right now we're in a profit of about $469, which is great. And the total balance at that time of the screenshot is at $659. And so that basically wraps up the 5 days that have happened. A quick little summary. I don't want to make this video too long, and I don't want to go through every single pair and show what every single pair looked like. But for the most part, I mean, most trades just stopped out at break even. Some trades like CHF JPY and GU, I couldn't really stop because they happened overnight, and I wish, I could have. So I took a couple of full stop outs, but yet I'm still in profit by a significant amount. And just one thing I really learned that I'm going to continue to use is only place trades off the daily in the 4 hour. I kind of slipped up and added them on like the 30-minute in the 1 hour, which I don't really do. So let's not go down that road. And then secondly, is just to hold trade to the target profit. If it's winning, I'm just not going to touch it. I'm going to let it continue because USD CAD could have been a banger trade, but sadly, it wasn't. So that's the summary of the account over the past 5 days. It's day 12. So markets are closed. It's a Saturday. Markets open tomorrow at 4 p.m. I probably will not take any trades on Sundays because I learned my lesson with the Dow, and I just don't want to deal with anything like that again to save capital. So I'm just going to wait till Monday. And so I'll probably make a video then. Thank you.